Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Rupan the third part 6 episode number 3 and 4 reaction. Okay, before I begin, I missed the previous week and I probably will miss the next week as well, my uploads. I won't be in my house for in the next weeks on the day when I record Rupan, and I probably won't have time to record ahead of time, so I might miss, or maybe I'll upload one episode next week, either of it. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I won't be available next week, so that is why next week might actually have no episode reaction. I'll be back with the normal video resume in the week after that. But today, two episodes reaction, episode 3 and episode 4. And yeah, let's get started. So the previous episode, two episodes, we got to see, we get to meet a new character, which is Sherlock Holmes. And we get to see that Rupan has some kind of a past with him. Not only him, but we also get in the second episode, we get to see that like everyone thinks that Rupan is the one who killed Watson. And even Watson's daughter, what was her name? I forgot her name. Was it Lily or something like that? Anyways, she saw Rupan standing in front, of the dead body of her dad, and that's why she has like a trauma, and she freaks out whenever Rupan is there, and Holmes doesn't want Rupan to be here and make the situation worse. So Holmes and Rupan has a confrontation, and Rupan says that, all right, I'll be off for now. I'll come back later. And he's out. Rupan is out, I guess, vacationing now. And Albert is also involved in this, and Albert is just waiting, and he just wants to see what the fun is, what fun is going to happen now, because Rupan versus Sherlock Holmes. This will be a good thing. But I'm guessing, a few episodes from now, we'll probably get more of Holmes. Now I'm guessing we're going to get Rupan's vacation or whatever, stuff like that. Because it'll be, I think this will be something similar to season 4, where it was like 2-3 episodes of main stuff, then a few episodes of just laid back stuff, and then again, a few episodes of the main story. It'll be like that. That's my guess. Let's see. Alright, episode number 3, let's begin. I'll be putting the subtitles in the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Adventure along the transcontinental road. Okay. Is that a train? What is that? Is that a train? That seems quite small for a train. Okay. What? He was railway buff. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I was like, what snow is he talking? Okay. Uh, great job you have there. What's he planning? Okay. Huh. Ticket. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Great. Yeah, obviously. Great. These two will be just. Yeah. Where did that shop come from? Okay. What? Wow. No vehicles allowed. Okay. Wow. Wait, what's happening here? Okay. It's like a costume party? Okay. President Akane. Ah, that guy. Serving us extras. Wow. Oh, there is. Oh. The extras. Nice. They got that. It'll be helpful. Oh, Zenigata's here? Oh boy, I wonder. Oh no. Well, damn, this place is huge. Wow. Wait, what's up with his. This guy's tall. Okay, where is Rupan? He's like eating. Wait, what the? What happened? He's eating. Wait, what the? Oh, well, nice. Who is this kid? Okay, exactly. Where's Rupan? Well, they had to have. The, oh. No, they're the actual ones. You. Zenigata. Alright. Oh my god. Oh, that's Rupan. I was like, okay. Now that I'm listening to his voice again. Ah, okay. Uh, okay. Oh, there she is. Alright. Whoa, what? Damn. Okay. Why is the mustache? Oh, you have so bad taste. Why are the mustaches? This this guy and his mustaches. Oh, blimey. Okay, is this a trap? Oh, maybe that's the one. Oh, that's an original. That's an actual hole. That's an actual hole. Okay, there it is. All right. Oh boy, I feel like there's some kind of a trap here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Who is he? Ah, okay, okay, okay. Oh, probably not. Oh wait, did he kill him? Huh. Hmm. Yeah, there you go. No, no, no. She has. Uh, Yay! They're like, oh, part of the play. It worked out. Wait, who is that kid? Are you stupid? Damn. Okay. Okay, Zingata, not the time. Damn, he's fast. Okay, okay, okay. I was wondering, they're going to use the train. Well, he's. No, he's in the train. We saw him. Hmm. Oh. What? Oh! Oh! Wait. Wait, where did they get the houses from? What's happening here? Damn. D- Damn. Amy. Aren't allowed. Yeah. I feel like you can probably go quicker if you run. Oh boy. Nah, that's his. Oh, okay. That's his top speed. Sorry. Okay. Damn. All right. Yeah, there he is. So is he dead or is he alive? Well, I don't think your horses can follow a train. Great. Great. Hmm. Oh no. Wait, what? Great. Oh, okay. That's convenient. Oh no. Ah, makes sense. So they're coming from the back. Okay, there you go. Ah! Okay, move. Oh my god. Nice. There you go. That worked. Exactly. Indeed. Damn. Wow, this place is. Oh, there she is. Wait, wasn't her handcuffs off? She lockpicked it. Oh, where did they? Oh, there. Okay. Let's get it off. Wait, is this really Fujiko? No, wait a minute. What's going on? Okay, that is Fujiko. Okay, for a moment I thought maybe it's not Fujiko. But she locked. She picked the handcuff. Well, he can. Nah, nah, let him do his thing. Oh, nice. There you go. Don't call him old. Yeah, exactly. This train. Yeah, exam. Oh, Fujiko must have done something to that elephant. Damn! Ah, wait, so the original. Wait, where's the. So she left it there. Okay. Yeah, so that was the original. For a moment, I thought maybe Fujiko switched it with like a fake one or something, but no. That episode was. I have to say that was. I feel like a lot of things happened at the same time. It took me a while to understand what's going on. Like, it was quite fast paced. But yeah, I was able to understand by the end. Okay, that is it. All right, so that was episode number 3, and like I said, this episode had a lot of things going on. It took me a while to understand what's happening, but yeah, it was obviously one of the, you could say, like one of the side stories in this whole thing. Okay, I was thinking maybe we're going to see more of Rupan vacationing. You know that little scene we saw in the previous episode in the end when we got like a little montage of what Rupan has been up to. Maybe we'll see that later on, but I was thinking we're going to see Rupan in the vacation. But yeah, anyways, so this episode we begin with like I said, there was quite a few things happening. Like I didn't understand what's going on. First of all, we see, yeah, we see the this guy. What's his name? Okay, so okay, wait a minute, just a second. One thing I need to check here. Oh, so wait, was that his disguise? It's actually, well, was that his that one mustache that he was wearing? Was that his disguise? Now that I'm looking at it again, what? Okay, it actually dawned on me now that that was actually part, like supposed to be his disguise. That one mustache. So, and I'm like, what? Okay. Anyways, his disguise was so bad. It's like, you remember back in the days, not back in the days, like, but like when we used to watch like cartoons and stuff, like Tom and Jerry and everything. They used to have like this one character who you can like recognize immediately, having like one mustache, it that qualifying as a disguise, and everyone would not recognize him. Like his character comes in with one mustache and everyone cannot recognize him. It's something like, did he think something like that is going to happen? He had only his mustache, and that was part of his disguise. Okay, so first of all, we see this guy, the one who was killed. I think he was killed. So his hand, his chain, having the thing, the key, and we can see that here. And we see this the butler coming in, and he's like, "You must get ready. The president of South Republic will be arriving shortly." And he's like, "Oh, there's no need. I'll meet him as it like this." Like a railroad worker, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like it shouldn't matter. President Arkney is such as the just as much the railway buff as I am, so I don't think anything will be the problem." And he says, "I'm going to take a quick round trip to New York while there's still time. Make sure the Rockies are snowing with you." And like I said, this was confusing. I was like, "What snowing? What Rocky?" Like, but little by little, I understood. This was like part of a little thing, like like the snow and everything. It was like a little, you could say, demonstration to the train, as far as I could understand, the automated, like automated moving train, and yeah. So the butler is like, okay, sure, and we can see the butler like stuffing in snow, and in the end we see him smiling, so obviously that evil smile. And yeah, next we see Zenigata with this guy from the Scotland Yard. And yeah, he's like, Zenigata's like, "Oh, we are going to infiltrate the railway buff Marcus, his like place, and he's like inviting this this, what was, who was it? Just a minute, what was his name? The king is bound to infiltrate today's railroad enthusiast party. The Marcus will be showing off his pride and joy, the massive garden railroad that runs through his estate. There you go. And he's like, "I know Lupin will be here because I know." So what is his mark this time? It's a ticket. So he explains that this ticket is very expensive, yeah, very rare, and not just any pass, but the very first one ever distributed in England. It's a ticket from Liverpool and Manchester Railways original trial run. Okay, it goes for a lot of son of money. Okay, so the other guy is like the NYPD's famed Inspector Queen. That's him. Okay, I'm gonna call him that. And he's working with Zenigata, and he's like, yeah, I have some time off from Scotland Yard. I have my business wrapped up with Scotland Yard, so yeah, like all is left to play chaperone for my nephews. And he kind of shows his nephew's picture, and he's like, oh, these guys are like they like obviously beautiful women, and they just love spending time, like just moving around, like having like a nice vacation. So they're here somewhere. But yeah, that's the only like job I have left. Otherwise, I can help you out. So now we get to see these two nephews. Like I said, this episode was kind of, I'll be honest, so many things were going on at the same time that it was a bit confusing. But now I can understand. I'm going back through the whole thing again. I can understand little by little, even more clearly. So these guys, these nephews, they're just walking around and following Fujiko. Now I thought Fujiko was trying to was going to as usually what Fujiko does, kind of tricks people into getting something from them. So I thought in this plan these two nephews probably fell in the plan, and Fujiko was trying to probably get something from them. That's why she was kind of moving in front of them. But no, it turns out it was just like a normal coincidence. There was no premeditated plan or anything. These two guys were not at all involved in the plan at all. However, they come to play a little role in the ending part of this episode. Either way, they're kind of following Fujiko, and I love how when Fujiko looks with the mirror, they're like, and interesting, like they call him the Inspector Queen calls them detectives. They love doing detective stuff. And I'll be honest, it seems like they have quite a good observational power. What is extremely important for being a detective? Observation. So you could see that they immediately realized that Fujiko is really looking to them using the mirror. Immediately observed that, and they decided to just go around and try to just do something random, act as if they're not looking at her. So that kind of shows that yeah, they are, I guess you could say, they are kind of detectives, or they have good observation power. Either way, Fujiko goes to the Marquis estate, and yeah, now here we see Zenigata and not Zenigata, sorry, Jigen and Goemon. They have got inside the Marquis's estate by using the cosplay thing, and they're handing out the cosplay costumes, and they even give some to the nephews, and they're like, oh, this is the best way to get into the Marquis estate and follow that lady. And they're very happy. They're like, yes, let's do it. And they have the costume of like a train, and they're very happy. They're moving, and we see that Zenigata and the what was his name, the Inspector Queen, yeah, they come, and the Inspector Queen is like, wait, what are those two doing over here? Either way, they get into the Marquis estate, and I was thinking, where's Rupan? And I did kind of suspect at the beginning maybe the guy, the special guest, maybe he was Rupan, but it took me a while to actually completely confirm that yeah, that is indeed Rupan. Later on, I kind of listened to his voice, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is Rupan's voice. So, but first I was kind of suspicious of him. So, President Arachne, and the butler. Now, here's the thing: the butler only has the mustache. That's his disguise. That was one of the worst disguises I've ever seen. And I love, like, Rupan immediately realized that this guy's up to something. But he's like, oh, if it isn't the Marquis of Railroad, like both of them realized that both of them are fake, but they were kind of playing, along. And makes sense why this guy is so tall. It's Rupan, basically. So he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to come here with my long journey from the south," and they're having like an introduction and all. So yeah, while the nephews they're trying to find Fujiko, and this kid, Amy, that was her name, randomly comes, grabs the cousin who was like the train, and gets on top of him to get on the little pony. And they're like, "Oh, why are you spending your time here? Like, let's go and get like find that gorgeous lady." And she's like, "What? I'm not gorgeous. What are you trying to say?" Anyways, this part was my favorite part of the episode. I love how Zenigata just comes in and he's like, "You two, like, Jigen and Goemon, what are you doing here? You are under arrest." And I was like, why are they acting so nonchalant? Aren't they in trouble here? These two, they're like, "Oh, this is just a cosplay." Takes out the mask and there's another mask underneath it. And Zenigata's like, "That's a very bad cosplay. You're putting like a very bad idea." Leaves. And I'm like, "Zenigata, come on. You've been in this business for so long. You should realize that that was a trick. They were putting on a mask of their own face on top of a random mask, and obviously the original face is underneath that. It was pretty obvious, but Zenigata left. This was my favorite part of this episode, and they just nonchalantly take out the fake mask and they're like, "All right, problem solved." So okay, so the main thing here is that Rupan needs to figure out how to get to that thing. So Rupan very nonchalantly asks the Marcus, or the butler who's in his disguise, very nonchalantly asks him like, "Oh, where is it?" At first he kind of asks about the little the track and how it is going, and the personal railroad where it goes and all that, and he also says while scanning, which we get to see later on, the whole obstruction clearing technology that they're using on it. He also explains about that. So okay, so here he very nonchalantly asks him that, "Oh, there's a very incredible thing that I have." And here's the thing, this guy knows that this is Rupan. He still told him because there must, as they say, there was a reason why they could not get to that ticket. So here's the thing, he says that, "Oh, there's a very incredibly valuable slip of paper here." Okay, something pops off his his jacket, his suit, the button pops off. I thought that was actually Fujiko, maybe like a piece of rock fell from the top when I was reacting. It's actually his button. And Lupin is like, "Oh, it makes sense. It's so expensive. That's why you keep it locked in a vault, And he's like, "Indeed, deep within my strong room." And he's like, "Where is it? You seem to be very curious, Your Excellency. If you must know, it's at the end of the hallway on the first floor." Like, obviously, he said that deliberately because he wanted Rupan to get to it. But the key required to open it is very peculiar. And Rupan is like, "Oh, thank you so much for your explanation." And Fujiko listens to that. She was listening to that on top, gets down. I love how she changes her costume, and I'm like, wow, that's convenient. And yeah, Fujiko goes in, and here Rupan is like, "Oh, I can see one of your keys are a different color. What's up with that?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. This is something else. My key to my vault is gone. Someone must have swapped it out." And Rupan is like, "Oh, is that so?" Like they know that they know each other are lying to each other, and they're deliberately kind of playing the game. So here we go. So now Fujiko is trying to figure out where they are, and this guy loves his mustache. And I was like, "Wait a minute, isn't it the picture on the wall?" And Fujiko also sees it, and Fujiko's like, "Okay, is this what it is?" I think. Puts in unlocks it and gets her hands on the ticket. Okay, mission successful, partially. Next, we see the Marcus or the butler is like, "Oh, you're a sly one, aren't you?" Takes out the mustache and the beard, and he's like, "Oh, you also knew," and he also snaps off the other one. That makes two of us, since I know the real Marcus isn't such a pork. And he's like, "I'm his mort and his butler." So Rupan asks him, like, "Let's hear it. Why did you still let me steal the key from?" Because he understood that it was Rupan. "You obviously wanted us to open the vault, which means you aren't capable of doing yourself." So this part I'm actually a little bit confused. So that means that he did not know where the ticket is. That would mean. I think so. Because he, like Rupan said, you could easily open it yourself, or call the Marcus, because I feel like the Marcus is dead, so you couldn't use him. So you could easily do it yourself. So he did not know where it is. So he used Fujiko to actually figure out where the ticket is. And Fujiko did that, and now they're going to capture her. Okay. Anyways, alright, and now we get to see that after Fujiko got her hands on the ticket, the guards come in, and Fujiko acts as if she swallowed it, but it was there in her hand. Oh boy, and yeah, so Rupan is like, "Alright, so time to dip." Uses the firecrackers. He thought it was smoke bombs, but it was firecrackers. It still worked out, you know. So yeah, now there's one thing I'm not exactly sure if Fujiko did this deliberately or not. Fujiko winked at the little kid, Emmy, that was her name, I think. And Emmy was like, "Oh, that's the gorgeous lady that those guys were trying to find out." And she went and told those two, the nephews. So did Fujiko know about this, and did she deliberately do that? I don't think so, like, because she did not meet the nephews after getting into the Marcus estate. So she wouldn't know that this little kid is like, knows those two guys. So yeah, maybe like all worked out like coincidentally. Maybe Fujiko just looked at her and smiled normally. So anyways, now Rupan is on his way, like he was kind of hiding underneath the water, and he hears the butler saying that, "Oh, like if the ticket, she has swallowed it, just like take off her head, like go to the guillotine." And yeah, so here we get to see Fujiko just drop down in front of the elephant, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so like like yeah, I'm so like dizzy." And now here, so okay, I saw wrong here. I thought she was trying to lockpick it. No, she had the paper underneath the handcuffs. She took that out. Okay, that was my mistake. I did not see it properly. So anyways, she takes it and puts it underneath the elephant's foot, and so that she can come here later on, get it back. Either way, Lupin is out to save Fujiko, and Zenigata comes in, running beside Lupin, and he's like, "Oh, what's wrong, Lupin? Like, you're under arrest." But then when he realizes that Lupin is actually in trouble, he's like, "What's wrong? Tell me." I'm like, "Good lord." And he explains the situation, and Zenigata realizes the original Marcus is dead and all that, and he realizes what's going on. And then in comes those guys, the bodyguard guys, trying to catch Rupan. And this part was weird, like this part was so weird. Like Rupan was running, and suddenly he gets in like on top of a little pony, that pony that girl had. And the other guys also were on ponies. They were like chasing him, and there was like a little pony chase. While Emmy, I think that's the name of the girl, she comes and she's like, "Oh, you guys were trying to find that gorgeous lady, and she is here. She's been taken by some bad guys." And she explains where like she is, and the two nephews, they go towards that direction, and they're like, "Oh, you're pretty gorgeous as well," to Emmy, and she's like, "I know." Okay, so while Jigen and Goemon are on a bicycle. Because there's no way for other ways of transportation. So either way, Rupan finds the train, jumps on top of the train, and the guys, they start following them on their ponies. Rupan sees the original Marquis dead over there, and he's like, "All right, so Fujiko must be there, and like I need to go quickly and get to her." But the what's the name? The the tunnel, the butler made sure that the tunnel is obstructed, and one after the other, throws in snowballs. However, the automatic obstruction clearer, the hot water that it was pouring, was working, but it was not fast enough working, because the butler was putting in more and more snowballs, kind of obstructing their path, and so that Rupan gets obstructed and cannot go. The guys are also coming from behind. Thankfully, we had Goemon and Jigen, and Goemon cuts off the snowball, and the snowball falls on top of those guys, and Rupan gets on the bicycle, and with Goemon, he's off to save Fujiko. So while all of this was happening, we see that the nephews find Fujiko, and my god, they actually pinned Fujiko's hair on the track, and they're like she's in trouble. So the nephew, they try to take out, kind of untie Fujiko, and then they realize that her hair is stuck, and they ask for help, but this one random guy was there, with the gun, and before he is able to do anything, the Inspector Queen, or whatever his name is, he comes in, and he takes the situation under control. But the main problem here is that Fujiko is still stuck. So Fujiko's like, "Oh no, please don't do anything to my hair. I'll become bald. I don't want that." But they're like, "Then what should we do?" But Rupan, Goemon, and Jigen is here finally, and Jigen is like, "Fine, let me do something." And here they ask her a question. They're like, Fujiko question: "What will you do? Will you become bald and save your life, or will you trust on your friends?" And she's like, calling them friends. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but yeah, I trust them. Jigen shoots the one that changes the track, and there you go. The train goes on a different direction, and yeah, everything is fine. So there you go. Fujiko's safe. This guy, the butler guy, he's like, "Oh well, the train went in that direction. I need to go and figure out what's going on." And he needs a ticket, so he goes and reaches the elephant, and he's like, "What is that?" "Oh, that's the ticket." Gets the ticket, and he's like, "Yes, finally!" And he's so happy. So tears the buttons go and wake up the elephant. The elephant gets pissed off, and just tramples him. Here's the thing. It's probably because this elephant is a mini elephant. If an actual elephant tramples you, you'll be dead. In no way are you surviving. This elephant is a mini elephant, and I don't think this elephant put its full strength on him. This guy would have been squashed to death if that was an actual elephant, big one. Either way, they get to the Marquis or the butler, and they get the ticket, the original one, and Zenigata's like, "You have some questions to answer. Let's go." And we see the two nephews, they're also there, and Fujiko gave them a little smooch. And Lupin is like, "You realize they're not going to be able to wash their faces for a long time." And Fujiko's like, "Yeah, that's their punishment for taking my stuff." My ticket. Oh boy. And that's where it ended. Like I said, this episode was, I have to say, it was like, it was all over the place. I feel like it took a while for me to figure out what exactly is going on. Even at the end, after watching the whole thing, I wasn't able to properly get cleared up. But after going through this part again in the discussion section, I now understand what's happening clearly. Because there's so many things. At first, they kind of introduced so many characters in succession, one after the other, and I was like, okay, something's happening, but I'm not understanding what's happening. But I got the main gist of it. And here again, after going through the whole episode again, little by little, reading it like in the discussion section, I properly understand it. Either way, let's get started. The next one, episode number 4. Let's see what more antics Lupin's crew get into. So let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Hmm. The killers in the diner. White elephant. Oh, okay. Oh no, I get a bad feeling about this. Wait, isn't that. Damn, all these guys, they look like assassins or something. This. Uh, um, what's happening? Why is she talking? Yeah. Men without women. What? What? What's happening in this episode? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. This. And okay, someone else. What is that? Letter. uh, uh, Um, what the hell? Oh, oh, it's a contract. So everyone's here to kill him. Oh, yeah. This is a problem. 50 grand. Damn. And that one guy has a minigun outside. Yeah. Why is she speaking English? My god. The minigun is starting now? I was thinking it was those two. But who was the girl then? Wait, so was she also an assassin? Oh no, that's Fujiko. Good god. I should have guessed. I kind of guessed that that was Jigen and Rupan. However, did not guess that was Fujiko. I thought maybe it was someone else, some other assassin. Okay, I feel like there's a twist coming here. Maybe he's the one who. No, wait, what's going on? Wait. Huh. Curious. Oh, okay, okay. The code book was on the. Okay. Hmm. Would it use as the perfect book in its own stuff? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All the books went without him. Oh, okay. That's why so many of them at the same place. Okay. Yeah, the guy's alive, I think. For death. Uh, mm. She is the one who kicked it. Right. All right. Okay. Interesting episode. I was like quiet. Like half of this episode, I was quiet to understand what's going on. One thing I was able to understand. What was the name of the story? Men Without Women. The story that part of the something like that. I don't know the story. So Fujiko was saying something about recreating the story. So I'm guessing something happened in the like something like this actually is in the story. They recreated it, like in a place with 10 men, 10 or something, and that's why in the beginning I think it was Jigen telling that, oh, like there's 9 men here. Where's the 10th one? Because it was recreating the story or something like that. So correct me if I'm wrong. Like I feel like majority of the confusion came in my head because I don't know the story that they were talking about. If I knew about it, I might be able to make more references to it. But that's what I was able to understand by the end. Since Fujiko herself explains that we just recreated the story or something like that, she said, I'll have to go through this section line by line to actually understand a little bit more. I think I got what's going on, but there's a few parts that I still don't understand. All right, that was an interesting episode, I have to say. I realized that it was Jigen and Lupin. However, I did not realize that was Fujiko. I thought that was someone else, some other assassin over there. But makes sense that was Fujiko. Like otherwise, who else would it be? I feel like Fujiko. I wasn't able to realize it was Fujiko because she was acting so differently than her usual personality. You can see those two, Jigen and Lupin, the way they were acting was kind of similar to their normal, like personality. Like Jigen was being like grumpy, while Rupan was being like that, like goofy type of character. While Fujiko was like completely different. That's why I wasn't able to figure out that was Fujiko up until she took out her mask. And okay, first of all, let me go through this episode. They go to White Elephant, that's the diner. The Killers in the Diner, that's the name of this episode. So they get in, and I was like, what's happening here? Why is there so many people who look like assassins here? Everyone was like waiting. Okay, let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Someone else here, I'm guessing 9. Okay, so yeah, this guy, like Rupan and Jigen gets in, and the waitress, looks like 8 of us all together. All right, so I was correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay, 8. Here we go. Rupan says, that's a shame. Even adding the young lady here wouldn't get us to 10 Indians. Okay. The young lady here doesn't count anyway. Oh, that was Jigen who was speaking. This is a world of men without women, which is the name of the story. You know? Assuming there's a cook in the inside, a recon will hit exactly 10 people when the mark shows up. The mark. Okay? Alright. So, and the waitress is like, what do you want? Hey? Okay. Interesting. So, I like the way that this whole, like interaction went, because at first they're like, oh, what do you want to eat? And then they kind of say that, oh, we want this. And the waitress is like, oh, we don't have that. And they're like, Rupan's like, wait, then what the hell is this card for? And she's like, that's the dinner. You can get that at 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock now. The clock says 20 minutes past 5. It's 20 minutes past. And she's like, I can give you any type of sandwich. And Jigen is like, give me chicken croquette with green peas, cream sauce, and mashed potato. First of all, let me check one thing. 10 Indians. What is that? Is that the name of a story? Yep. Ernest Hemingway. Let me just read a little bit of the synopsis. Set in North Michigan of 4th of July, it features Nick Adams as he's traveling home. Wait, is this? Yeah. As he's traveling home with Joe Garner and the family in a large wagon, they pass several drunk Indians, and then Joe Garner has to stop and pull a drunk Indian out of the road, which he says is the ninth. The Garners joke about the state of Indians, and two sons also dispatch Nick's Indian girlfriend Prue and that she smells like a skunk. Nick feels uncomfortable and denies that she is his girlfriend. While Nick returns home from Garner's, his father says that today he saw Prue in the woods with someone called Frank Washburn. His father said that they seemed happy and they had threshed about in the woods. Nick starts to cry. The next morning, Nick takes a while to remember the heartbreak. What? Oh, by depicting a large number of drunken Indians, the story reinforces common racial prejudices against Native Americans. Nick feels unable to challenge the Garner's view. Nick's father also unhappy about Nick's relationship with Prue. It's also implied that he lied to his son about Prue thrashing about with Frank. Okay, so that's the 10 Indians. Okay, so then what was it? The Men Without Women. What was the name? Men Without. Let me check. Men Without Women. Collection of stories about despairing pain and loneliness. It's described. Haruki Murakami, short story collection. Wait, is this the. Was that the name? Just a minute. Just a minute. Where did they name? Okay, the young lady here doesn't count. This is the world of men without women. Okay, wait a minute. Is this am I the right am I at the right page here? Wikipedia article: Men Without Women. Haruki Murakami short story collection. I can see there's a few stories. Is this the correct one? Drive My Car, Yesterday, and Independent Organ, Sherazade, Kino, Samsa in Love, Men Without Women. Okay. I'll go back to that later on. All right. Let me read. After that, so she's like, "Oh, we don't have any of these. Those are dinner. Those are supposed to be from 6." And so they're like, "Got anything to drink?" And she's like, "Silver beer, Vivo, ginger ale." And he's like, "English, Missy, do you speak it? Something to drink." And okay, here he's talking about the type that you can enjoy in one gulp. You know what? Let me go to the episodes. Okay, just a minute. Lupin 6 episode 4. Is there like a proper explanation to it? I'm just going to the wiki page. Okay, I'm going to I feel like there's a lot of subtle hints that is going over my head because I don't know about the story or something like that. Let me read the summary here. Official synopsis. I went to the wiki page. I'm going to read this. One evening, opening the door of a lonely diner, two men come in. A waitress who sits at the counter asks, "What are you going to take?" The two men look at the menu and order a dish. There are 6 customers in the diner. All men are killers. While interacting with the waitress, the two men who devoured the food pointed an unusual glance. Okay, dressed as hitmen in matching outfit, Lupin and Jigen arrive at the White Elephant, a small diner populated by 6 hitmen and a freckled redhead waitress. While waiting for the target to arrive, the two thieves talk with the young waitress, dropping multiple literally. There you go. I was saying, half of it is going over my head because I don't know the literally allusions during their conversation. Lupin and Jigen began to grow suspicious after the sandwiches they order turn out to be terrible, notices that they haven't seen or heard anything from the cook who is supposedly working in the kitchen. They demand to see the cook in person, but are interrupted when one of the assassins receives a gun from the deliveryman. He was waiting for his gun, I saw that, hinting that time is running short. Lupin eventually reveals to the waitress that their target is a Swedish man named Andre Andersson, a regular at the diner who is a secret treasure that the client wants recovered. However, the client has hired multiple assassins to ensure the job is completed. Lupin offers the other hitmen a chance to split the treasure, but they all decline, preferring to settle the matter with their guns. Just before the shootout is set to begin, Lupin asks the waitress who she really is, having deduced that she is an imposter. After counting down from 3, the waitress cuts off the light and disappears out the back without answering him. The other 6 hitmen are all killed in the ensuing gunfight, with Lupin and Jigen emerging as the victors. They enter the diner kitchen where they discover the cook and the other red-haired waitress bound and gagged. With Lupin realizing that the waitress from earlier was actually Fujiko in disguise, Fujiko escapes the diner and leads to Andre's apartment on her scooter, having earlier learned his address from the real waitress before Lupin and Jigen had showed up. Deeply depressed and tired of fleeing from his tormentors, Andre refuses to run up or put a struggle, and Fujiko apparently shoots him. Lupin and Jigen are waiting outside when Fujiko exits Andre's apartment with the treasure, revealed to be an extremely rare copy of an early version of Ernest Hemingway's The Killers. Lupin explains that during the Cold War, former CIA director Alan Dulles had used the early version of The Killers as a coded cipher containing highly classified information. Andre was in fact a former CIA agent who had stolen one of the few remaining copies of the story in order to make a quick buck, and his former employers subsequently hired the assassins in order to kill him and get it back. As the three discuss this, Andre escapes the building and heads off into the night, with Fujiko admitting that she decided to let him live after all. There you go. The 3 thieves decide to split the CIA's reward for retrieving the book over a meal. But after Lupin and Jigen mock Fujiko's lack of cooking skills, still remembering the horrible sandwiches she prepared, she becomes offended and intends to pull a gun out on them. Alright, alright, just a minute. Okay, let me read the notes. The episode based on Ernest Hemingway's short story The Killers is also based on Men Without Women. The episode name drops Men Without Women and the other short stories that had the killers throughout the episode. Hills Like White Elephants. Oh, and A Cannery for One, where visual references when the rest are interesting. Dialogue using the Japanese names of the stories. Chite Dais Le Patrice. Yeah, like she read it out. And an Alpine Idol were referenced both visually and in dialogues. Okay. Interesting. Like I said, a lot of the the references probably went over my head because I don't know about them. Okay, now the main thing here is The Killers. Where is it? By Ernest Hemingway. I think that was the name. Let me check. Ernest Hemingway, The Killers. Here we go. Hemingway short story, The Killers. Let me read this because I think they recreated this, didn't they? The story takes place at the Summit, Illinois, during the 1920s, during Prohibition. 2 hitmen, Marks and Al, dressed as twins. There you go. Walk into Henry's lunchroom, which is run by George. They order pork chops and chicken dinners. That is why they ordered that. I was wondering why did they exactly order that are not yet available, and settle for ham and eggs. Wow. And Fujiko referenced that. Fujiko was like, oh, we can just give you sandwiches, ham and eggs and bacon and eggs. Also in the lunchroom is Nick Adams, who is a recurring character in Hemingway's story. Al takes Nick to the kitchen and ties up him and Sam the cook. Max and George soon have a conversation. Wait a minute, just a minute. Okay. Al takes Nick to the kitchen and ties him up, and Sam the cook. Max and George soon have a conversation, which reveals that the 2 men are there to kill Ole Anderson, the Swedish ex-heavyweight prizefighter, for a friend. Anderson never shows, so the 2 men leave. George sends Nick to Hirsch's boarding house run by Mrs. Bell to warn Anderson about the 2 men. And that is why I was wondering, why is Fujiko trying to warn that guy. She was recreating the whole thing. That's why she was warning him. Nick finds Anderson lying in his bed with all his clothes on. He tells Anderson what has happened. Anderson does not react except to tell Nick not to do anything, as there's nothing that can be done. Nick leaves, goes back to the lunchroom, and informs George about all Anderson's reaction. When George no longer seems concerned, Nick decides to leave town. Alright, there you go. Okay, it so much makes more sense now. Like I was like, there were so many things that I was like wondering why were they doing that, but it makes sense. They were recreating it. I had a little bit of a feeling that she was recreating the whole thing, because she literally said that in the ending part of the episode. She was like, oh, that's why we recreated that. Okay, it makes more sense to me now. Okay, so yeah, so here they were like, okay, so give us the the sandwiches, and and they're like, oh, why do people come here? Like there's nothing here. And then they're like, oh, it must be for the dinner, isn't it? We're going to start from 6 p.m. Ha ha ha. They're like smiling, and so then they start talking about the book that she was reading, and they're like Lupin and Jigen are like, what were you reading? And she puts a book down, Men Without Women, Ernest Hemingway, short stories, collection of short stories by Hemingway. And then okay, and then she talks about a few of the movies, and then they are like, oh, what's written there in the background? Oh, what? Okay, while all of this was happening, one of the guys goes back to the other side, and then I was looking at the sandwiches and I'm like, why do they look burned? Makes sense. Fujiko made that. And she gives the sandwiches to them, and she's like, oh, who should I give the things to? Because who knows, maybe you two switched places. And they're like, haha, you're a smart girl, aren't you? And okay, so someone gets in, this one guy, and they start eating. Okay, they're like, what are you looking at, girl? And okay, so yeah, here's where they ask what is there in the background, the picture. And again, there was like, this was some reference she dropped here. I see the cannery. That was another reference, as I read in the Wikipedia article, and the wiki, the wiki page. This was another reference, the little cannery in the okay. And they're like, she's like, oh, did you enjoy your food? And they're like, oh, it tasted like crap. And the legs were raw. The like what the hell's in the kitchen? Who is there? Where's the cook? And they say the menu can be simple as it gets, but any diner always has at least one waitress and one cook. Since you're the waitress here, I'm guessing the cook is in the back. So tell us, where is the cook? Bring him out. Okay, then in comes the delivery guy with the gun, and one of the guys, he gets the gun, and he goes outside again. All right, now here is where they kind of bring out the the secret. They're like, who are you? Who are you, girl? And she's like, by what do you mean? Are you meaning everyone in this? Oh no, sorry. The girl says, who are you guys? And they're like, by you guys, what do you mean? To us too, or the people behind us? And she's like, yeah, the people behind us and you. Who are you? And they explain. They're like, okay, so yeah, a certain person's name, Andre Anderson, I think that's what. They say that we are here for him. We're here to take their life. But apparently everyone here is a killer. So the person who hired us, it seems as if they were kind of paranoid about it. And they kind of laugh. And then they're like, what about it, everyone? Should we, how should we like divide this. Should we could we divide this, or should we go out? Like all out. And here, like they had the gun and everything ready, and there's like a minigun outside as well. Okay, they talk about Andrew Anderson. He comes here at 6, and they're like, he should come here quickly. Today is Friday, and Fujiko asks like, what have they done to us? And they're like, oh, nothing. It's just a job. Like we are going to kill him today. And in any case, it seems that the client who hired us has trust issues. There you go. And everyone's like, yeah, like so many people here. We're not splitting any reward. They try to negotiate, but it doesn't work. So Rupan and Jigen is like, all right, so what should we do now? Should we do a countdown? They tell Fujiko to do a countdown, and Fujiko's like, fine, 3, 2, 1, puts down the the light and goes away, and the gun fight and the blade fight, whatever you call it, begins. It was a massacre. Everyone's dead except Jigen and Goemon. Oh, sorry, Jigen and Rupan. And yeah, they get inside in the back of the in the kitchen, and they see the original the employees tied up. Yeah, and they realize that was Fujiko, and she has gotten the address from them. Fujiko goes to the hotel or whatever he was, and she explains, I'm here from the White Elephant. And I was wondering here, why was she informing that or warning this guy? Makes sense. She was recreating it, like I said. And she's like, oh, I'm here to warn you about the killers. And we see that this guy's like she asks, like, can't you get out of town? And the guy's like, no, I'm through with it, to running around. Nothing can happen now. Okay, there's nothing I can do. It's too late. It's too late. Okay. After a while, I'll make up my mind to go out. Fujiko says, like, isn't there anything I can do? He says that no. Thanks for coming around. There's no problem. She takes out the gun and she's like, after all, those men weren't the only one waiting for you. And shoots him. Obviously, later on we get to know she didn't shoot him. And Fujiko comes down. Rupan and Jigen are waiting. Fujiko's like, he's in his room and he wouldn't go out. And Lupin says like, okay, main question here. More importantly, you made us handle all the damn dirty work. It's not a kosher of you to go and hogging the loot in the meantime. She brings out the book and she's like, oh, I feel like I was lending you a hand. Is that supposed to be the code book? Doesn't seem like it to me. Alright, so Rupan explains. By using a code that specifies a page and a line, you can highlight certain words in books to construct sentences. It's called an Ottendorf cipher. Like how convicts use Bible to pass messages between the buddies is the oldest string in the oldest book. Okay, makes sense? Okay, so Jigen says I leave it to the CIA to making it more complicated. This actually further goes down the rabbit hole of history. Okay, so he explains here. The Killers is a short story by literary master Ernest Hemingway. All the way back in 1926, Hemingway was vacationing at a hotel in Madrid. After the bullfights he was planning to watch got snowed out. He put out a whole story down on paper in a single day. That was the birth of The Killers, okay? It was later published in a collection of his short stories called Men Without Women. But research on the book's manuscript in Boston revealed something. Apparently some new additions were made to the second half of the story around that time. Alright? So I take there's an original version. While he was going through a rough time in Paris, Hemingway found support at Shakespeare and Company bookstore. A very limited amount of original story were published there. Hemingway wasn't their only patron either. Ezra Pound, Scott Fitzgerald, James Joyce, and many others were also there. The bookstore was famous as being a haven for many American authors in Paris. All right. Now, the main thing here is that okay, most copies of the exceedingly rare short story have been lost to time, but a few still exist in good condition. I hear many rare book collectors pay a lot of money. All right, there you go. Okay, so that's the code. All right, so now comes the second part of the story. So this makes it the perfect code book because it's so rare. All right, the second part of the story starts after the liberation of Europe. Um, the OSS, an American intelligence agency and predecessor to the CIA, began operating in secret. Okay, one branch director was a man named Alan Dulles. Okay, he was the biggest Hemingway fan you could imagine. And once Dulles discovered the Shakespeare and Company version of The Killers, he seized every copy they had and then put it as a perfect code book to use. All right, makes sense. Yeah, to encode information meant to be secret from even his own staff. So here he wrote down all the dirty stuff, the dirty laundry as they call it. Dulles was a sly fox. He knew about the skeletons that every politician and tycoon had in their closets, which gave him the carte blanche during the height of the Cold War. Although he screwed the push with the bay of okay, he maintained control of CIA from the outside even after being fired from the president. A true example of the undefeated. Right. Except that recently records pertaining to this was leaked, and obviously the CIA went crazy after realizing that, causing the CIA to panic and attempt to round up every copy this book has in the world. Most of the elites who it concerns are pushing up daisies by letting their historic dirty laundry get exposed to the world would definitely and put some people in deep crap. Alright, that's why the CIA is doing this. Secret mission to recover all books went off without a hitch, with the exception of one guy who decided to steal a copy without knowing its true value, which is Andre Anderson. He hoped to make a quick buck, call it quits, but ended up stuck in a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and that's why now we are trying to get this guy. CIA hired so many people. CIA was so desperate they kept this under wrap. They hired some dirtbags on the outside to handle it, which motivated you to sneak in and recreate the famous story in real life. And that's what they exactly do. They go in and start putting out hints in front of Fujiko, those little literally hints, and they start recreating. Fujiko also realizes what they're trying to do, and she also starts playing the game about recreating the whole story in The Killers. You know, two men get in the bar, sit down, ask for ham and sandwiches. You know, like no, ask for dinner. They don't have the dinner, then they get ham and sandwich. That thing. So they recreate that. Jigen and Lupin puts out hints. Fujiko catches up on that and does it. So that's what happens, I'm guessing. Interesting way to realize that's Fujiko, because they literally reference the whole story, and Fujiko realized it and Fujiko played back. And alright, interesting. Now here's another thing which I think I was misunderstanding in the beginning. What I was misunderstanding was I was thinking Lupin and Jigen were also hired by the CIA. Obviously not. Why the hell would CIA hire them? They got tipped off about this. They came in, recreated the story, killed everyone, got the information and the book, and now they're going to wait for CIA to contact them and put a big price, and they'll probably sell it for big money. That's their plan. They were not hired. They came in and swooped in as they usually do and stole the whole thing. And now they're going to wait for the CIA, and the CIA will put a good money out. Then they'll probably accept and they'll get the good money. Okay, now in the end, here a motorbike, which is that guy Andre running away. So Jigen's like, wait, didn't you finish the job? And Fujiko says that I got what we were after, didn't I? Anyway, I bet that the fate of the man waiting for death was never revealed in the original story. There you go. And that's why she decided to keep him alive. Okay. And what point is it there in recreating something unfaithful? Because they were recreating up until this time. Fujiko's like, why make a different change in the end? I'm going to complete it faithfully. Okay. it'll always feel like being in another country no matter where he goes. And with that, everything has fallen into place. And yeah, there you go. So that was a friggin' farce, as Jigen says, you know. And so the question is, how do we split the reward? And Lupin says, I can't wait to see what kind of price tag the CIA puts on this thing. And then they're like, let's go and eat. And they're like, oh, no bacon or no sandwich, you know, I don't want any of that. And that was horrible that you made. And Fujiko's like, what the hell, you two have problem with my cooking? And then they put out the gun and point towards each other. That was a very interesting way they told us the story. I actually had to sit down and understand what's going on because I had no clue about any of the stories they were referencing. And okay, now I kind of understand. That was interesting. That was a very interesting way of storytelling. I liked this episode. So anyways, so that is it, guys. That's my reaction to episode number 3 and 4 of Lupin the third part 6. Yeah, so I'll be honest, I like, you know, episode 3 was okay. Wasn't a much big fan of it. However, this episode 4, I kind of liked it. You know, it was kind of a little bit unique and interesting. And yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. That is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next week. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure if I'll be able to put out a video next week. If not, week after that, I'll be back with 2 more episodes of Lupin the third part 6. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.